Hey everyone, I'm Abhinav Mishra, Director of Product at Uptycs. We're here with the Chainguard team today. First of all, congratulations on the new round. We've seen so much thought leadership on the supply chain security side.
I'm Matt Moore. I am one of the founders and the CTO of Chainguard.
I'm Rhino Daniel, Enterprise Engineer here at Chainguard. Nice to see everyone.
Of course, there's a lot of talks around supply chain and people are starting to give it more attention now. What has been like the most interesting insight or most positive thing you've seen around this space or even other trends from your angle?
It's tough to nail down just one. Over the years, security has become such a bigger and bigger focus across really all of the vendors. You see a lot more people talking about supply chain security and things like this, but helping folks do things like manage CVEs and things like that, very prevalent. You go to almost every booth and someone is talking about helping users address their CVEs, which is, one of the things that a lot of folks run the scanners and see a whole list of CVEs, right? Like, I think one of the key things that we're trying to do is actually help them solve the problem that all these scanners and different tools are showing them that they have and where they have them and things like that. And trying to make those actionable.
I think security is for a long time been about the data. I think now it's all about the operationalization of it in terms of the workflows. So Wolfie images, right? It's, zero vulnerabilities from day zero. How do enterprises embrace that? Is it a different process? How do you sort of promote this whole concept around using these images for Chainguard?
Security is important. Security is worthwhile. We all have to do that. But security shouldn't be overly onerous and something that's toilsome. So what we do is we make that really easy for the developers. There's, if you're familiar with building things with Docker multi-stage builds, we can do that. If you want to do tools like Bazel, if you want to use some of the Chainguard open source, we can allow that as well. But I think at the end of the day, a problem that was something that it'd be great if we could achieve zero CVEs. We're actually making that actionable. And so vulnerability management becomes manageable. And so it's one of the things, it's an impossible problem. We'll never get there. We're helping people achieve that, which is exciting and something that's worthwhile doing.
I think it's a fascinating story around, instead of starting from CVEs, we don't want to see CV start with the right image in the first place. When we talk about platform engineering, right, you're those golden templates, those ways of defining the right patterns. I do see platform engineering and security kind of coming together, and in regards to supply chains as well. Like, you have to have your SBOMs, you have to have your attestation reports. How do you see that sort of coming together? Is that a trend you see at KubeCon, or do you see it differently?
Definitely a lot more booths and a lot more people talking about signatures and attestations. I think one of the things that we've seen, and obviously projects like SigStore make it a lot easier and a lot more approachable for folks to start, sign things and attest to things. It takes time for folks to change their processes. And so this is one of the things that we've seen and we've tried to help folks jumpstart with our images. We talk a lot about sort of how our images, achieve low to no CVEs, and we get things patched extremely quickly. That's the pain point that customers are feeling now, that we're, the compliance pain point they're feeling now with their endless spreadsheets and whatnot, right? But all of our images are signed. They have SBOM attestations that say everything that went into them. They have SALSA attestations describing the process we used to build them. They're all reproducible, and we have blog posts that show how anyone can basically reproduce one of our images bit for bit. And we joke about how reproducibility is effectively a supply chain cheat code, because if you can reproduce the build, then not only do you have the provenance, because I've told you here's the provenance, you can take that provenance and you can rerun the build and make sure I'm not full of crap, right?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think the reproducibility element to actually see what you're fixing and making sure you're meeting those needs from a provenance and compliance point of view is key. As we start to see like open source Wolfie, and you have other sort of players and they're doing different things, right? Caverno with the image signing verification, you have Gatekeeper. How do you see all of this kind of playing in the ecosystem? Where do you see sort of the synergies on that front?
I'm just pleased that folks are talking about this. This is a problem that's been around for a good long time. It's something that was probably not the easiest thing to attack because, people click on just about anything. If you're my mom, if you're serious about this, if you're a nation state, if you're somebody that's like, we want to jiggle every door handle, tap on every window, I'll take that we're talking about this. We're making action towards improving that. And then things are going to sort themselves out. a lot of this is open source. Awesome. People are going to sit there and support that, grow that out even better. And so at the end of the day, we're all more secure in things that really are important. We should have been doing, but they were things that like, oh, that's, nth degree more difficult to sit there and breach. So end of the day, we all win when we all win.
I think the open source PLG strategy is a fascinating one. And yeah, thanks so much for your time, and thanks for the insights.